muggles, my name is Ashley Storma. Welcome to my channel. I'm back at my work again, but I promise you I'm not going to do another work video. I have a question for the artists out there who might see this video. I want to know if you think that your upbringing and your childhood had anything to do with your dreams and ambitions. But I'm going to kick this off with a funny story. So when I was little, I really loved the show Close to Home and Judge Judy. And I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I wanted to be a judge. There was this one time, and Mom was like, "What do you want to be when you grow up, Ashley?" And I was like, "I want to be a prostitute." And she was like, "Ah ha ha." And her and Dad just both start cackling, and they're like, it's while we were watching Close to Home, and they were like, "Do you mean prosecutor?" And I was like, "Yeah." I don't remember if they explained to me what prostitute was. Knowing them, they probably did. But I remember being like angry, like they're laughing at me. So I wanted to be a lawyer and a judge because like I loved Judge Judy, and I loved how she was so strong and she was like a badass bitch. I ended up in high school going with a girl who was in my class named Grace, and we went to go job shadow a lawyer. So we went over to Everett, which is right outside of Seattle, and he was very kind. It was casual Friday, but he wore a suit just for us, and he was like very proud. And I hated the job shadow so much. He's like, basically mostly what you do is you sit at your desk and you do paperwork, and you try to figure out how to get these guys on paper, and it's not like all action and in courtroom like you think it is. Once I realized just the whole atmosphere that goes along with that job, I really didn't want to do it anymore. The point of the story, though, is that how did I get from wanting to be a lawyer to wanting to be a writer and a screenwriter and a filmmaker? And I really think that the main thing can be traced back to when I was a child. Basically, when I was little, my mom used to have this old movie channel on in the background all the time. We would do fake red carpets and we would act out the scenes that we had just seen, and old movies, the reason I love them so much is because they're very reminiscent and nostalgic of my childhood. I also was read to a ton. I read a bunch when I was little. We would write stories and then print it out from decorating the pages with kid pics. I used to tell my poor little brother when we were playing, like, okay, now you say this. And obviously, wanting to be a screenwriter and an author, that is literally what my future job entails, is telling people what to say. And it's funny because if you really think about it, the fact that I wanted to be a lawyer or a judge or both because of TV shows, maybe I was actually reacting to how those shows made me feel. And my love of film and movies was coming through in a way that made me think, why do I love this so much? Oh, I love this because that's what I want to do. I want to be a judge. Did I want to be a judge because I wanted to be a judge, or did I want to be a judge because secretly I actually loved how the film itself made me? I don't know if any of that makes sense, but I hope it did, because I just think the whole topic is so fascinating. So I think it's really interesting that characteristics that I had when I was young can totally be traced to the ambitions and the goals and the dreams that I have. You come back as an adult to what you loved as a child. So whatever you were doing when you were little just for fun, if that can be a real job or even a hobby, that is probably something that is going to fulfill you because you've had it and you've had that feeling of loving to do that thing, whether it's writing, singing, dancing, making pottery, painting. You've loved doing that since you were young, and it was something that was just instinctive. You know, whereas in school, you're kind of drilled to, like, you need a job because you need money. But when you're a child, you're like, I want to do this because I enjoy it. So I just had a question for any of you artists. Do you think that your ambitions can be traced back to your own childhood? I guess this could also go for anyone who's in the industry that they really enjoy too. If you're a mathematician, were you like a tutor for your buddy when you were little in elementary school? Do you think that who you are in terms of career can be traced back to your childhood? Anyways, that was sort of a ramble, but I love discussion-based videos, and I've been for years obsessed with this idea that my childhood has severely influenced the outcome of who I end up being in terms of career. And I just want to know if anyone else feels this way, or if I'm, you know, alone in the boat. And if that's the case, that's totally fine. I'm just really curious to see what y'all have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back here tomorrow with another vlog for Vlogmas. And I will be on a nice camera and not my phone because I won't be at work.